I like learned this, whatever, statistic, like less than 25% of the people in Alabama think this is a good idea because they're like, abortion is healthcare for women. So why is it coming into play? Because those 25 white men and that one white woman decide, the governor and the 25 like, they're like grinning, it's so scary. I'm like, why are you smiling? You know what I mean? You are evil, you don't get to smile. So.
You know Mitch McConnell smiles though, right? Like there's moments where
I don't think so.
I mean, he works at it.
No.
He pulls strings and...
Yeah.
What are you interested in that most people aren't? I would say the Sacramento Kings. Are you a Kings fan? A big Aggie fan?
I'm from the Bay, but I went to UC.
All right. So you're a Warriors fan?
Yeah.
Boo! Boo! I'm joking. Go Aggies, man. Go Aggies. Did you just graduate?
I graduated 2 years ago.
That's great.
Yeah.
Go Berkeley. This is like a UC fight. What is some solid advice that has stuck with you over time? Actually, the best piece of advice I got was from Tan France. And he told me, he made me try on all these like ridiculous outfits, and I told him I wasn't feeling confident in them, and he was like, just be confident and it'll work. So maybe one of these days I'm gonna come out in a crop top and maybe it'll work. All right, what is the most unbelievable New York experience that has ever happened to you? You know what, I've talked about this a lot before. I think I should just bring out the most quintessential New Yorker and see what she thinks. Everyone give it up for Ilana Glazer. For what, my pickups?
I got makeup on your
hoodie. Oh no.
Yeah, it's ruining the rest
remember
of the
those
show.
old remember in those like R&B videos we would watch when we were like growing up? There was always that scene in the video where like the boyfriend comes home and there's makeup on the...
Yes, and the girl's like, ah, or whatever, and it's like so typical, and it's also like, who's getting kissed on their clothes? You know what I mean? Like it's on your face or body, and then you wipe it off or whatever. I don't know. It's like they want to get caught. That's my thing.
What is your most quintessential New York experience?
This is like so gross. And I'm like 30. So gross. I'm 32. This was maybe like 11 years ago. It's like, I'm not the same. Yes, I am. No, I'm not. But I once, me and my friend there was this like country night in South Slope. And we went to South Slope and we like got my friend John Mayer, but his name is Jonathan Mayer. It's not John Mayer.
Alana's like, I hate people that are problematic. My friend John Mayer.
Jonathan Mayer, which sucked for him in college. But so John and I we go to country night when they get so drunk, and we're like so gross. We're like peeing between cars, and we're like, smoking like in a nook or whatever. We get like we're such idiots, and we think we're invincible because we're like 21 or whatever. And we go on the train, and the train is coming every like 45 minutes or whatever. And so we're on the train, and I was like staying over, and I had my bag with all my shit, and John is like, and I was like, oh no. And he's like, and I was like, oh fuck. And we like get to the station, and he runs out and pukes all over the platform, and I run out to help him, and then the doors close and the train takes off, and my purse was in the train. It sucked. But it was also fine. I called my mom, and I was like, Mom, and she was like, you idiot. I thought someone like died. Who cares? We'll go to the DMV. What are you, an idiot? Don't scare me. Which is true. It's like, it's not that.
Does Jonathan remember that night?
Yeah. Oh yeah, we laugh about it.
Was it one of those nights, like when you go down to the train and it's like super balmy and it's like gross?
Yeah, it was like a summer night, balmy. And like, yeah,
piping
it's like,
hot puke.
And you like smelled his puke that night. It's bad.
Are you on tour right now?
So, no.
But you're about to go on tour.
Yeah, I just, I finished, I'm like having such a crazy time right now. Broad City ended, which was a really good show. My favorite show. And then I did this film. I shot this film that I wrote with my friend, and we just like have been writing it for so long. I can't believe it's shot now, and then I'm going on tour and doing a special.
Why is it called The World is Burning?
Okay.
It's the Earth is burning,
The
right?
planet is burning.
Okay.
Because it is. And I think it bears repeating until anybody gives a shit. You know what I mean? Like, why are we not talking about it all? I can curse, right?
Yeah.
Why are we not talking about it all the fucking time? It's like so scary and what, you know? I just like, it's like, you know, it's like hard to, sometimes I'm like good on Instagram and other times I'm like, peace, Instagram, I can't right now, you know what I mean? But I'm like, if I'm gonna like hashtag shit and like post all the time, like, okay, I gotta do it, something that I'm like, bears repeating.
Have you been vocal about everything that's going on in Alabama and Georgia?
I haven't. I'm gonna just be. I
Really?
like haven't. Yeah, no. I'm like paralyzed in fear and depression over it, and I haven't been like totally vocal about it because I'm like, I like go to post and I'm like, you know, I'm just like, this is so scary. I watched only the first season of Handmaid's Tale. After it, I like couldn't bear it. You know what I mean? And now I'm like, you know. And you know, it's like I say this from this privileged position of someone who. I can get an abortion if I need one. And like, you know, I'm married and we talk about kids. Like we would figure it out if we did, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like, I was a nerd in high school, so I didn't have sex. So it wasn't like, you know what I mean? It wasn't like an issue. And I'm just like,
Yeah.
it's such just a thing that happens. And women get abortions anyway, even if they're banned. And this is just making it dangerous for women who are already alive. Versus fetuses who are not yet alive. I'm like, you know, it's just, it's so, I haven't been vocal about it yet because I'm just, I'm pretty paralyzed.
But you were pretty vocal about like voter registration. Like you've been very.
Yeah, that's with voting, I'm like, why is it so hard? I'm like, smart, so like, why is it hard? Why is it hard for me to vote? Like, I don't know, like, I'm like researching and like part-time job figuring out how to vote, who I'm voting for, what I'm voting for, and it's such trash. That our system is not like voting is dope. Here's how you do it. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I was just kind of sharing what I was learning.
So what's the move? Like with everything, I just wanted to ask you with everything that's happening right now. A lot of times something awful will happen, and I'll hit like PayPal Yellow Fund. There we go. Like that'll solve something. What is the move? Do you think what's happening right now in Alabama and Georgia is like part of a larger trend, or it's an isolated incident in
I think
those
it's
specific?
definitely part of a larger trend. I think the move is definitely, if you have the money, give it immediately, because money works and is how our like world works. And it's like, yeah, I wish I wasn't like sending money for this, but this is what the situation is. So yeah, that is also the move. I also think the move is, you know, it's not like people, I like learned this, statistic, like less than 25% of the people in Alabama think this is a good idea because they're like, abortion is healthcare for women. So why is it coming into play? Because those 25 white men and that one white woman decide, the governor and the 25 like, they're like grinning. It's so scary. I'm like, why are you smiling? You know what I mean? You are evil. You don't get to smile. So.
You know, Mitch McConnell smiles though, right? Like there's moments where
I don't think so.
I mean, he works at it.
No.
He pulls strings and.
Yeah, but he
yeah.
doesn't have the muscles. The muscles have atrophied and he can't. But no, I believe the strings are pulled for sure. But I think the move is to use, like the system that we have in place is just being raped. But the system is pretty dope. So I think the move is to focus on the primaries in June. So that that we can like eventually vote for the people who will not take away women's health care.
A lot of people,
It sucks.
as artists,
So bad.
you know, a lot of people are writing about, people are publicly posting, I'm not gonna shoot my movie in Georgia, I'm not gonna do this in Alabama, I'm not gonna bring work there. I feel a little conflicted about that.
Well, it sucks because like the people of Atlanta are like stoked and they're like hustling and like the town, you know, the city is just grooving on making so much stuff. But I have a movie that I'm like putting together, and my director like sent me this, you know, before it like came out. I don't know, before I saw it in the news, she sent me this thing. We should move our movie from Atlanta to New Orleans or just in New York. I'm like, I don't want to shoot there. I like doing a movie in any place, or
Right.
you know, film and TV is like such a huge advertisement for the city and for the state that it's in, and I just don't want to be there and support it. But it sucks because like there are people there. 75% of the people are down for this
Right.
obvious should be
Right.
paid for by the government healthcare. So it like sucks to like punish those people, but I guess you have to make a move to make a statement.
Yeah, it's interesting. You know, like I know the NBA very actively with the bathroom bill stuff was just like, hey, we're not gonna, you know, participate or we're not gonna endorse this.
That is so cool.
Yeah, Adam Silver's a great commissioner. Eddie, didn't Adam Silver do that? Remember when the bathroom bill happened? It was in North Carolina, right? The All-Star game, right? And they threatened to pull the All-Star game.
That is so
Yeah,
cool.
and so they ended up delaying it, right? Adam, as the commissioner, was like, hey, we don't stand for this. But I've oftentimes thought, as artists, do we just bring the work there and do we try to change the culture there from, because I know there's people on the ground that would like want us to be there. That would be like, I would love for Ilana Glazer to be there. I would love for Hasan Minhaj to come shoot his show there. It would, you know what I mean? It could be like a lightning rod moment. So I'm caught between this thing of like, hey, do you
Yeah, but then the governor gets to be like, all these cool movies
Right,
are shooting
and I totally-
here.
like, it's-
and it's like,
it's
no,
one of
we're
those-
not, bitch. Like, no, we're not. Like, you suck, you fucked it up, and now you don't get to party. You know what I mean? Like, you know, like people who like are racist and misogynist party
Right.
poorly,
Uh-huh.
and it's like,
party for
and I'm like, you either earn partying with us by
Right.
being cool and not fucking women over, or brown people over, or black people over, whatever
Right.
it is, or you don't get to like have the movie there.
So what you're trying to say, I think what you're trying to say is the NFL throws the worst parties then.
Yeah, I mean, if I watched, I would be like,
It's
yeah, but I like their like costumes, but I don't know much
You mean
beyond.
the jerseys? Their costumes
No,
are great.
the shorts. No, I like the shorts in football, not the jerseys.
The shorts.
They're like tight, shiny ass like shorts. I like their shorts because you like see their like butts and like legs and stuff. They're
Yeah.
in football.
Yeah,
don't
they're
they
like
wear,
tights. They're not. I mean, sure.
Tights.
Eddie, what are they? They're like compression pants that go to your knees, right? I'm being like so technical, like I'm a football player. I'm like 165 pounds.
Compression.
They're compression pants. I'm an athlete.
knows, yeah,
You
he
guys
knows.
get it. Does anyone have a question for Ilana? This is the funnest part. Like this is why I love doing this.
Thank you. My favorite thing to do in the city is to get a little high and take a walk.
Ilana Glazer, everybody.